Oh, a little bit out of sync. Oh my gosh, my hair. Welcome back to RØDECaster User Meet Up. I'll explain to you why my hair is always a mess. Welcome back to RØDECaster User Meet Up by Learner to Learner, a collaborative learning channel where we all come together in the next hour and learn about all things RØDECaster. But this month particularly, we're going to talk about RØDECaster usage with Ecamm, the live streaming software, only for Macs. But if you're interested, stay tuned for the rest of this month on RØDECaster User Meetup, as well as our next hour called Soundcheck. It's another hour and a half of further discussion that we're going to expand the discussion a little bit more outside of RØDECasters. And this, as I said to you, Learner to Learner is a collaborative learning channel. And how are you going to participate? You can participate like how you have been doing in the chat, saying hello to everybody. I see Rob in there. I see Shakanulu's in there. So say hello. I see 6 of you on there. And if you want to participate, you can feel free to hop over to the website. Go to learnertolearner.com. I pasted the link in there. If you go to the website, you will see a call in with Zoom button on there. When you click on that, it'll bring you to a registration page. Just register and put your names in there, email address, and consent to join the show. And the system will send you an email once I approve you. So especially if you're new to this and never interacted with me before, please say something in the YouTube chat so I know it's a real person. Because sometimes I get the request and I'm not sure if it's a bot, if it's a real person. So please say hello. And if you have already requested to join, but then haven't seen me approving you, feel free to bug me. Nudge me in the chat, because sometimes I get distracted and I don't pay attention to my registration page on Zoom to approve you. So let's say hello. Once you join, of course, you will be like one of my panelists here. And let's say hello to all of them. Let's say hi to Matthew. Hello, Matthew.
Hello, hello.
Welcome back to the show. It's been a while. You've skipped a few weeks, and glad to have you back. 2 weeks at least. You were not here for the Ecamm discussion for sure last week.
Right.
It's okay. All right. And we also have Derek also back with us. Hello, Derek.
How's it going?
Good. Welcome back. We have Philip. It's been a while. Hello, Philip. Welcome back.
Yeah. Hi. Can you hear me okay?
Yes. New microphone.
Okay.
Different microphone.
Is Rode.
Is the Rode broadcaster? What is it? The Procaster? What is it?
The Procaster, yeah.
Procaster. And we also have Charles. Oh, Charles has a different look. Wait, are you muted still? Wait, I don't hear you. I don't hear your audio. But you're not muted on Zoom, which means it's a routing issue. Which
it is.
Oh, there you go.
Ecamm didn't pick up the RØDECaster. That's what.
Okay. So now it does.
Switch.
All right, you're back. Welcome back. You have a different look. You have a little branding, which we're going to talk a little bit about, maybe on the soundcheck side, the visual side of Ecamm. We can talk about that on the soundcheck side, but I want to talk about audio. And I want to say quick hello to those of you who are in the chat. I see Dan Spies saying hello. Hi, Dan. Hi. I saw Rob also. Hello, Rob. I see Shakanulu is also here. Welcome you all. And we are, as we promised, we're gonna continue on with Ecamm October. I even added a little graphics with Ecamm October on there. Okay.
I like that.
Yeah, you like
Looks
that,
good.
huh?
I do.
A little touch of Ecamm October. I didn't get approval from them, but that's okay. They're usually pretty nice. Anyway, so we're gonna continue talking about Ecamm, and since we're in the RØDECaster User Meetup. Oh wait, by the way, I also have my Ecamm shirt. This is my Creator Camp last year. The Creator Camp 2025 just finished 2 weeks ago, a week ago. And our friend David Hunt went there. So, if he does come in sometime this month, we can ask him all about it. But I do have my Ecamm shirt on. And I want to focus back on the usage of Ecamm live with RØDECaster. There's so many different ways. Last week you heard from Charles how he utilizes his. In fact, I think if I can sum it up really quickly, you're using your Ecamm really as your camera source. And that is it. So that you can, do visual stuff, sharing things without having to go through Zoom's sharing functionality.
Yeah, which I actually did today on it. We did a product release today, and so I was able to do which I had forgotten how to play a video as a scene. So, I was able to do the countdown into the video, and then
yeah, and you typically don't use those kind of functionality much, typically, right? But you get
not very much. That's why it took me a minute to remember how to convert the video to the correct,
to WebM.
Yeah,
we can talk a little bit about that too. And especially if you want to use that as an overlay. If you use it as a media share, then you don't have to change the format. But if you use it as an overlay, you have to convert to WebM format so that your audio would come through. All right. So raise of hand, OBS users. In the shot. Okay. So we have Derek, we have Matthew, and Philip. What do you use OBS?
I've used OBS in the past.
But typically you just straight up use your camera, right? You don't have any software switcher.
Yeah. I haven't been doing much of anything lately except working. So I've got a room full of projectors over here that are I'm in the middle of reviewing. So it's just been very, very, very busy for me.
Well, you know
I haven't time to indulge my hobby.
Oh no. So last week we have quite a few Ecamm users. This week not as many, but Reggie hopefully would be able to join us because he's an Ecamm user.
We're outnumbered this week.
Yeah, we are outnumbered, which is fine. Yeah. In fact, I kind of want to hear questions from non-Ecamm users. It would be kind of cool. And of course, this is Dolphin Boy is what it's. I can't. Where's his name? Oh gosh,
Dolphin Boy.
He is the I'm blanking out. He's the guy. What's his name? He's he's a PC guy.
I don't know what's more entertaining, this show or you trying to remember someone's name.
I'm sorry. Well, I know his name. What? Oh my gosh! It's Kevin. No, wait. Let me see. Sorry. Okay, I'm struggling. Dolphin Boy is. What is his name? Keith. Is it Keith? Keith, yes. Keith, the guy who might consider getting a Mac Mini. Keith. Sorry, Keith.
Yeah.
Ah, boy. Oh, okay. And Shaka said you can use Handbrake to convert that too. That's true. Convert video file into WebM format. Not an Ecamm user yet, Reggie says. Oh, okay, that's correct. And so anyway, right now Shaka is. So what I'm gonna do, and you guys can feel free to chime in and ask question. But what last week what I did was I on Soundcheck I encourage those of you, if you're interested, go check out Daniel Chee's video and how he set up his RØDECaster usage with his Ecamm is very different from how I would set it up. And I thought, since we always have people participating in the chat, because you guys are not the same as the people who are watching live, because you are connected to me through Zoom. And so it will be interesting because I thought, wouldn't it be cool if I just change his setting live? Essentially, whatever he said to do, I will do it. If I break things, I'll be back. Maybe next week, but I'll be back. But I thought it would be interesting to kind of test it out that way. And then if we don't have time, we can save my personal setup for next week, because I think there's quite a bit to play with and quite a bit to talk about and how we want to use this. So essentially, this is this video. And I paused on this frame because I wanted to get into
also going to be
okay. There you go. I want to. So his audio setting, I have it set here, and he has his speaker set to RØDECaster Pro main, but then interestingly, he had his his input, the microphone set as RØDECaster Pro II chat.
But he has echo cancellation on.
Does he?
He does.
Okay.
So if you go back to his...
Oh, there you go.
So he has echo cancellation for external speakers. And I wonder...
For external speakers, meaning the... Oh, this is only when you're not using headphones.
Right.
So
but in the way that he's setting his speakers and his Ecamm mic, I wonder if that's how he's able to achieve that.
But okay, here's the thing that I don't know if I'm able to successfully. Maybe we'll just talk about it, because if I change it, one thing that is different from my setup and his setup is he has no guests right now. So it will be. I don't know if I'm able to replicate that, because I don't know how my sound's gonna be. Because if I use you guys might get.
I could do it.
Huh? Do what?
I could do it.
Like follow his setting?
I mean, I can set my audio to...
Like follow
he had his,
Daniel's?
Yeah.
So he has his sound level. So essentially, which is what you have also, right? You have chat set as your microphone. And
yeah,
then,
so I have... So I just turned on... My speakers are now set to main stereo. And... enable echo cancellation for external speakers.
Oh, but yours is a little different because you're using, so your audio source won't change much, and we can't really test it because you are using Zoom to do your audio routing, not via Ecamm.
Well, my microphone is set to Ecamm in Zoom. My speaker is set to chat. I could set it to main stereo, I guess.
Do you think when you set the speaker, will it cost? Well, I guess it probably. Oh yes, it costs. This, which is what I'm afraid, Slapback. So yeah. I definitely won't be able to do like what I wanted to do, which is to set the test, because So let's go back to why I don't use that method. Because it's going to cost, it's going to be an issue because I have guests. So if you, but I appreciate the fact that Daniel come up with a way of setting up your RØDECaster with your Ecamm at its simplest level. You do not have guests on, you're just on your own. And if you want to play audio, this is what you do. If you don't want to play audio, this is what you do. So maybe we'll just verbally talk about it, and if it doesn't make sense, tell me. So the issue with what I'm seeing here to avoid slapback is you gotta set your input and output to be the same sources in order to avoid slapback, particularly for chat, right? Because chat on your RØDECaster by default, it already has the mix minus turned on. So what you do is if you set your input, which is on Ecamm's world, this would be your input. It doesn't say so, but microphone in your sound level window is your input. And then on your output, which is your speakers, inside Ecamm's preferences under the audio tab, that's your output. If it mismatch, if you have guests, if you have either Ecamm for Zoom, well, Zoom inside of Ecamm, or if you have interview mode on, you're going to have an issue. So to avoid that, you would then have to set your speaker to chat. But this is how he does it, which I think it's clever. So rather than switching inside of Ecamm, he is suggesting that you switch it, that you use same as system setting. So you know how when you choose your output or your audio output, essentially, you get to choose same as your system default. He actually has that selected, same as system default. And then what he does is he goes up to his system audio and switch between chat and main so that he can quickly, without having to go into Ecamm settings, to quickly change your audio output device on your Mac. Let me see if I can.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
go
going
ahead.
to keep your audio consistent across the board, though. If you're saying default to what the system does, it's fewer conflicts. It's
Yes, I think that is the whole idea of him trying to do that. So when he sets, okay, so I'm gonna go into my settings. So you guys can see my my Ecamm window now, right? Oh, but look at my
Your circle's broken.
my circle's broken. Let me see if I can turn it off and turn it back on. Nope, it does not. It does not fix. Does not change it. Anyway, this thing right here. So if I go click on this little icon, it brings up my settings. And if I can, zoom in too tightly. Let me zoom out a hair. So now you're looking at the audio tab, which is what we were looking at earlier. So rather than choosing the RØDECaster Pro II main multi-track or stereo, if you don't have multi-track turned on, or chat, you would choose system default. I don't want to do that because I don't know what my system default is. So you would choose this one. But if you choose system default, and then you would then go back up to your on your Mac's audio panel here and choose the whatever output it is. Well, I guess I have that set also as this. So he's recommending if you have guests, to avoid slapback, you would change to RØDECaster Pro II chat here, because Ecamm is following your system audio setting.
Well, let me ask you this. In Ecamm, so in that audio panel, you have on the speaker side, if I set my Mac to main stereo and I set my speakers to follow the system default, now that is using the movies, the sound effects, the system audio, everything's routing into that because it's the same as the default. Okay. Follow me so far?
Yeah.
The other thing that it mentions is remote guest. Now, I know in interview mode, it's okay, but does Ecamm see the Zoom guest as remote guest?
Yes.
Okay.
So if and so there is additional settings inside the Zoom tab also that you can change for Ecamm to manage your audio. So when you have Ecamm manage your audio, essentially you're mixing, it is treating it like interview mode.
I gotcha. Okay. So like right now, I have my system set to main stereo. I have my speakers in the audio tab set to main stereo, and I have my chat set to my microphone.
In Zoom? Or in your
Ecamm.
system? Oh, in Ecamm.
In Ecamm. Now I'm using the Ecamm Live virtual mic.
Okay.
And then I have my speaker in Zoom set to chat.
Okay. And then your
And there's no slap.
is your Zoom speaker also set to chat?
Yes.
So because you're using the virtual, those are the two that needs to match. So if you're, in order to avoid slapback.
Oh, I get you. Okay. But I'll still be able to play my sound effects and everything, all processed through Ecamm. And
Yeah, play your sound effects from Ecamm's sound effects panel?
yes.
Yes. So there is an Ecamm sound effects panel here,
Right.
right here on the left that you can see here. So if this is like a RØDECaster User Meet Up song, so if I play on that you guys hear it?
Yeah.
You should hear it, right?
Stereo.
Yeah. Because it fades out too. So you'd also see that it shows up in here as well, in the sound effects over there.
Okay, and I see the
sound
panel
effects.
for your Zoom guest. So that's the Zoom guest channel that we're seeing there. That's where you would let Ecamm control it.
Correct. If I
You
were to
don't.
have, I don't.
You don't.
Correct.
But,
Yes.
Right.
So
I gotcha.
if I were to if I were to have chosen in Zoom, to uncheck manual audio mode, then it would show up, all your Zoom guests would show up under Zoom guest audio. So in order, I think as I was trying to think through all these, I didn't even show. Oh yeah, I did. Okay. Did I? Am I still? No, I'm not on live demo mode anymore. Am I?
You are.
Oh, I am. Okay. So now I'm not. I'm trying to figure out why I want to have such a different setup compared to many other Ecamm users. And yes.
John Ong.
That too.
If there's a difficult way to do it, John's going to find it.
That's true. But I have a reason. I'll explain why. And here's why I think I want to have my way of doing my RØDECaster mixing and the settings for Ecamm, because Ecamm is really built for people without a RØDECaster, without an external mixer. Ecamm is doing all the audio mixing for you. So if you don't have a RØDECaster, you probably won't be watching this show, but if you don't have a RØDECaster, then if you just have a microphone, it's fairly simple and fairly easy. And your mixer is now just here. This is your mixer right here. So that you're looking at the mixer right here. And you can set the volume and all that here, and it has a lot more like even more complex setup too that we can get into in the future. But the idea that I want to set up my RØDECaster so differently from a lot of Ecamm users is because most Ecamm users do not have an external mixer. And when I have the external mixer, I want to be able to do what the mixer is supposed to do, rather than doing what Daniel was suggesting for people who may not want to get into this very complex setup, to just have a very basic, essentially just using your RØDECaster as a microphone. And maybe you can control the sound being played back, like the system audio. If you're playing some videos from YouTube that you want to talk about, make commentary about, then you can use the fader to control that. And I want complete control over mixing my audio with only my RØDECaster. So, which is why I have Zoom set to use the chat channel inside of Zoom, and inside of Zoom that is within Ecamm, which we will talk about if if Glenn comes back, we can talk about how he can join a meeting using Ecamm with the invitation link. Oh, he's back. So Glenn is here. So we can talk a little bit about that once we finish this discussion. Maybe we can talk through how Glenn. Oh, wait, who's that coming from?
Well, I was trying something, so it didn't work the way that I thought it would.
I hear the sound. It's not
it's,
complex. It's pro. I love it, John. I also have. I saw Shaka has a comment earlier about. Where is it? He said main doesn't even. Okay, here. Main doesn't even show up on mine anymore since I expanded to multi-track. Well, you should still see main. It's just main multi-track, not main stereo. So you should still see it. I like how everyone has their own setup and understanding of the channels. Yeah, I know. So Shaka, I mean, I'm curious as to what your setup is. What is your input and output? And of course, not everybody utilizes. And I think mine is also more pro, more complex. It's because I use a lot of the functionalities in Ecamm, and I want to use a lot of the functionality on RØDECaster, which is what makes it more complicated.
So let me ask you this. If I'm playing a video from Ecamm,
yes,
or I'm playing a sound effect,
yes.
So to Ecamm, it's either a movie or a sound effect.
Right.
If I want to control that from my RØDECaster,
control meaning the volume?
I want it to go to, yes. So I want it to go to my stereo channel because I'm using chat for my microphone and my speakers. But I want to be able to play audio. Now, I know if I set my system audio to stereo.
Well, the main, essentially. Main could be stereo or multi-track, Shaka. So if you have multi-track turned on, it will show up as RØDECaster Pro II main multi-track. If it is stereo, if you don't have multi-track turned on, it will just show up as main stereo.
So if I have my output on my Mac as main stereo, I have my speakers in Ecamm set as main stereo. Do I have to do system output mix mode?
Let's see. Okay, so
put control to my RØDECaster.
Let's try it. So the only issue is we're probably gonna get Slapback because we're in a call. So if you're a solo, it might be a little bit different.
It says you're activating system. Here, let me just share mine.
Well, I do. I have mine turned on because I think you kind of have to. Otherwise, essentially, I'm gonna go to that setting and show. Oh, you're gonna show. Okay, there. You're gonna show yours.
So, okay, so I've got it here. And it says system output mix mode. You're activating system output mix mode. Ecamm will not mix movie audio, sound effects, or guest audio into your broadcast. So
yes.
Click OK. Now,
so essentially, what you're turning on their system output mix mode is for people with an external mixer,
right?
And if you know how to mix audio, yeah.
So if I do okay, so that's where you get that signal from. So now if I play a sound effect, if my stereo channel is all the way down,
we don't hear it.
You don't hear it, but I hear it. I don't know why.
Wait, and now I hear it. Maybe it was down low, the mix. I hear it now.
You shouldn't hear it now.
I don't now.
Okay. I can still barely hear it.
In your ears?
I'm not sure.
Is it coming through USB 1?
Yeah.
Okay. So what if you don't? What if you don't check that? See what difference it makes.
Okay.
Okay, now we hear it full.
Yeah. So you're hearing
And
it,
you,
what
your,
what it's
yeah, and
saying.
can you control your RØDECaster volume and adjust and change it? Change the,
I
yeah.
can, when this is on, I
Yeah.
can.
And when it is not, you only have to, you can't use your RØDECaster to control the volume.
Okay, so that's, okay, when this is off.
Okay, now I hear it full. You probably have to use the interface to control now. Yeah. Now, on your RØDECaster, which channel does it show up in?
Main stereo.
Main stereo. And can you use your RØDECaster to control the volume of what we hear? You will control of what I hear.
No, I
Okay.
can only control what I hear.
Okay. All right. So which is why if you have an external, so which we confirm what you asked is correct, right? You were asking if you want to control your sound on your RØDECaster, do you need to turn on system output mix mode? The answer is yes.
What's interesting though is like you can't hear it right now. There's no audio coming out, but I can hear it. Just barely, but I can hear the track.
Oh. Is it because is it oh, it's coming through, yeah, I'm not sure why. Yeah,
And
we can hear
yeah,
it.
I mean,
I
I'm
don't know if
getting
we
a
can
signal.
hear it or we're only hearing it faintly, I'm not sure.
Well, crank your headphones up.
Barely. I don't think I can, or at least it's not loud enough for me to hear anything.
Yeah, so it's so I have my USB channel set to USB 1 set to -10 dB, and I can see the signal.
Yeah.
Like I can see the stereo signal going back and forth
On-
as this is playing
On
on
Ro-
USB 1 on my
RØDECaster?
on my RØDECaster when I'm looking at the level on the processing screen.
That's
I can see it.
it's probably
It's like
because
it's not shutting the channel completely off.
you can see a hair coming through or like a little bit coming through, or you
It's
see
in
it
the
full.
green.
You see full, like regular audio coming through. Do you think it's because of mix minus that you are using chat? Wait, what is it? Let's compare your input on your microphone is what? Your microphone is dual chat, and then what is your Zoom's? What is your Zoom?
My Zoom
speaker?
is set to my Zoom speaker is duo chat,
Okay, so that's mix minus.
and then my microphone in Zoom is the virtual mic from Ecamm, which there's nothing coming through except when I talk there.
Yeah. So that's only your voices coming through your
That's so
RØDECaster.
weird.
But you're hearing your sound effects from Ecamm.
I'm
in
hearing
your
it from
RØDECaster.
Ecamm in my RØDECaster, and I can see the signal fluctuate.
And that's
doing
because you
its
have system
stereo.
output mix mode, or when you uncheck that, do you still hear it?
When I uncheck it, if
We
it's
hear
playing, it still play. Yeah, I hear it too.
But
But
not
this
faintly.
is so faint.
So it's almost
it-
like a signal cross, like a
Almost. It's like a bleed over.
Yeah.
Almost. Gosh, that's so weird.
All right. We'll
I mean,
come.
I'm kind of glad it does it in a way because it lets me know that hey, doofus, you got something playing.
But it doesn't sound like it's supposed to be.
It's
right?
weird.
Um,
No, doesn't seem like it should.
Okay, so let's see if I use Loopback to create a music channel. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to here, and Shaka said I use Loopback to create a music channel, physical fader, and a browser, a physical fader, which is what I do also, Shaka. So I think he's talking about using the expanded input channel or virtual channels on your RØDECaster, and he on a Mac you have to use, it's very easy, right? If you're an Ecamm user, you're already on a Mac, so don't have to ask. So on a Mac, you have to use Loopback to map the source from your computer to the expanded input on your RØDECaster. So yeah, exactly, Shaka. That's exactly what I do also. Let's see, Loopback might be working as a true mix minus. Well, you have more flexibility if you use Loopback for mixes, but your RØDECaster can do all the mix minus that I need. Let's see what he says here. In out on Mac is multi-track. Ecamm mic and speaker is duo chat. Zoom mic speakers are duo chat. Okay. So I was asking Shaka what his setup. Really, so your Ecamm, when you say Zoom mic speakers are duo chat, do you mean you use the separate Zoom app, or are you using the Zoom application inside of Ecamm? Can you please clarify? Ecamm mic is set to chat. Okay. And which is interesting, because in order for me to do the full control, I would have to set all the sound from Ecamm to go out to my USB 1, which is main, which is why in my Zoom, my Ecamm settings, if you go to audio, I have this set. I have this set to, it doesn't do it now. I think it's maybe when I am zooming in that my mouse got cropped. Oh, but now it doesn't do. Okay, so in here, I have speakers set to multi-track, a main multi-track, because I want every single sound that is generated by Ecamm to go out to my USB 1 channel. And that's why I have it set that way. And same thing with my microphone. It is also all my sound that I'm piping into Ecamm, I want it to be coming from my RØDECaster, and that's why this is main. And because in Zoom, I get to manually change my input setting. If you check manual audio mode in Zoom, in the Zoom tab, you get to, I can hear whoever's microphone coming on the left ear. I can hear something touch I hear somebody's mic go dung on my left ear. If I have Zoom set, I will now pull my Zoom window in, which you guys, you'll see yourself. So in my Zoom, I have my microphone input. You guys, oh wait, you guys can see this, right? Yeah. Okay. So my microphone input is set to Pro Chat and Pro II chat. And because I have asked Zoom to let me manually manage my input and output or microphone or speakers of Zoom manually. That's why I have the manual audio mode. That allows me to do things like I can bring all the audio from everybody in, whether or not you're routed through Ecamm, I can control everybody's sound manually from my RØDECaster. Oh my gosh, this is very complex. My brain is hurting as I'm trying to even explain this. I'm using Zoom inside Ecamm. Oh, okay. So he's using, okay, so then do you have, Shaka, do you have manual mix turn on? What is it called? Manual audio mode turn on in Zoom? Let me know if you have that. Turn on map input channel left and right stereo. Yes, I actually do have that turned on too. Wait, that's Ecamm mixing the audio. That's right. You're using Ecamm as the mixer. That's why I need full control of my audio, because Ecamm does some compression or something funky. The audio isn't as crisp. Oh, okay. So yeah, I'm not sure about that, but I it's not the sound quality that I want to that led me to wanting to control my audio manually. It's because I want to fully maximize usage of my RØDECaster and fully utilize the usage of Ecamm together and at the same time. Okay, so he does not. So it really then, Shaka, does not matter what you choose, your Zoom's input and output or mic or speaker. If you do not have the Zoom manual audio mode turned on, no matter what you do, it's going to use the default mixing. So it's going to always force your input to be your virtual mic and then and whatever output you have set on your Ecamm. So which luckily you have RØDECaster Pro II chat. So your at least your mix minus would still work that way. But I want to control it manually. And so then that's why I chose to do everything manually. And I feel like it, because it is so well, it is, at least in my brain, it's complex that I might, my attempt of trying to explain to people how I set mine up might actually chase people away from how I do what I do, except for when I show you these are the settings you should follow, and then you'll be fine. And then that's what most people like to do. But I feel like at least I want to talk about the
But you're
reason
using
why.
both. You're using both USB channels.
Correct. Not right now. When I used to have Clubhouse, I would use both.
Okay, I got you. You would use the other one with your phone?
Correct.
Okay.
So I would use my USB 2 for my phone connection to Clubhouse, which I don't even.
That's what I do. I reserve that for.
I didn't even have it
USB 2
connected
for TikTok or
yeah,
whatever.
exactly. Yeah.
So
okay, all right. Now, question.
I feel like I'm running a mental marathon.
I know it's hard, and I think part of that too is
ultra marathon.
Even I know my settings, I know what I need to set, but I also am having a hard time communicating with you guys. I think it will make more sense next week, because we're almost running out of time. Next week, when I go through step by step why I set my setup to be that way. Not only showing you the settings, but also why I set that up. But before we end this conversation, I want to bring back to Daniel's recommendation. And his recommendation does not include a Zoom call or an interview mode. But I guess it would work if he switches his system default output to chat, and then it would work. Because his microphone is on his Ecamm is always set to chat. But the downside is, if you follow his method when you have that on chat, because his system output is also utilizing chat, if he wants to play a video on the internet, you won't hear it because it's mix minusing it out also. And he did mention in that video, which I should probably share this video in this link. Last week I didn't share that with you guys in time. I put it in a comment instead of in the chat. So I just put it in the chat. If you watch it, maybe next week we can come back and talk a little bit more about it. But his recommendation to overcome that, to me, it's a bit of a clunky workaround for me, is he said, if you want to play audio from the website, from YouTube or something, switch your Mac's system audio output to stereo or to main, essentially. But when you do that, when you don't have gas, that's fine. But if you have gas, you're going to have slapback. So to me, that's why if you are going to have gas, you're probably going to need to do the system that I follow, which actually, it's not officially from Alec Johnson, you know, Alex Johnson is part of the Ecamm family. He's the Take One Tech guy, right? He is the person that I follow and understood the whole mixing Ecamm with RØDECaster both, because that's how he used his as well. And I pretty much adopt or learn all the various different mapping of Ecamm to RØDECaster through him. Charles, it looks like you're going to have something to say.
Well, so you say follow your system so you don't get slapback when playing audio off the internet or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, if I have my Mac set to main stereo.
Your Mac output?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's set to main.
Uh-huh.
I have my Ecamm set to duo chat.
Uh-huh.
Zoom speaker is set to duo chat.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm using the virtual mic in Zoom.
Yeah. Which
now,
is essentially duo chat, because in Ecamm you set your mic as duo chat.
Right. Yeah. So on audio, I'm doing system output mix mode.
Uh-huh.
And then I have the speaker set to stereo, but that doesn't matter because I'm using the system output.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I play something off the
internet,
I wouldn't get slapback, would I?
No. I mean, internet won't have slapback, but you're saying because you're
feed,
because you're independently controlling your Zoom, and that's why you don't have this issue.
Because I'm using the output mix mode.
Yeah. Because you're using
everything on the speaking side, on the Zoom side, is set to chat, and then with the output mix mode, I'm using my main out.
Yes, which is sending audio
USB.
All the sound from your computer is being
sent
from the exactly. Yes.
Okay.
And which is why I think
that seems easier.
If you want to use a separate app for your chat, right? So if you use the same app within Ecamm, that is why you want to enable the audio, the manual mix mode in Zoom, so that I can still independently control the input and output
to what I want.
Because I want the sound from Ecamm, like the sound effects, to come out to my RØDECaster, because I want
to your main.
Yes.
In my case, it would be main.
Yeah. Mine will be main
I'm
too.
still able to set my speaker and microphone to chat.
Yes.
Inside of Zoom.
You're doing exactly what I'm doing, except you're running two apps to do that. I'm running one app, and in order for me to manually control my input and output or speaker and microphones of my Zoom, I have to enable inside the Zoom tab of Ecamm the manual mix. Mode. Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
It's interesting though.
Yes, Phil.
John, the audio on this podcast is normally impeccable, except on my end. I hear all the time that I'm getting cut off before I start and I finish. But it's interesting tonight as I've listened to you guys talk, John and Charles. Every time you guys start to talk, it's a little clippy, a little break-uppy, and then it's like there's a gate on or something.
Is that the case for everybody else, or is it just on Philip's end?
I'd be curious if anybody else is hearing that.
I'm hearing that from him.
From me.
Yeah, yes. I hear a little audio.
You sound clippy.
Okay, well,
Derek.
I don't
so
hear
it's either you or us.
Phil, that means you can't just come on and call people clippy and not expect you to call clippy yourself.
I know. I dropped a turd in the pool. What can I say?
No, and which is why it's good to bring that up, because sometimes you need more people to test this out than just yourself, or even two people. Because if Derek is hearing our audio, our speech clipped, then it's likely that it's from our system. But I don't know if Derek and Matthew.
Hey, I'm hearing Charles and John fine, but Philip, I hear on yours the kind of rough start. So
yeah, whereas
since you said you have known issues, it might be something there. Just the packets coming in through Zoom. So you might bring up that packet thing and see when they start talking if it's doing a hit. of the stuff coming through. The other thing that might help on your side is you can turn off your own video. Gives you a little bit more throughput. So you see everybody else. You don't necessarily see yourself. That might help with that. But everybody else's audio of the Charles and John show is coming through clear.
Okay.
The Charles.
Well, there we go. It's me. It's interesting. It's as usual in life. It's my fault. I accept it. It's interesting though. Everybody has a different experience. I'm not using Ecamm because I'm not doing a show with guests. However, I do have a regular podcast that's being hosted by another gentleman that I do on a regular basis, and we've had ongoing problems with Ecamm, freezing in the middle of the stream and dropping to the point that he experimented with going back to OBS, and I'm playing around with Meld based on George's recommendations. But I mean, there's such a huge amount of variables.
Yeah, and of course we very quickly run to or pointing the fault to the software, and it could be the software on the hardware that the person's running. It could be the software and the hardware and the internet connection that that person's running. So it very well could be. It's not just one thing, and typically, if you have a very powerful machine, typically Ecamm, like I have run this show regularly, and I have not had, at least you guys can tell me, I have not had connection issue, or at least like sending out information out to YouTube, or at least to Zoom too, right? So far it has been fine. So, which led me to thinking that it could potentially be the other two factors also. Number one is the internet connection, and number two is the hardware, especially if does it crash or does it just drop the broadcast?
It actually, what ends up happening is it freezes. It freezes, and then within 30 seconds, the entire stream.
That would let me to thinking that it's probably computer. They're probably running an Intel Mac still, or a Mac that has even an M. What is that? Yeah, and or it could be if it's Apple Silicon, it could also be because of RAM. Do you know what you said? Running an M4 Mac Mini?
Yeah.
Is it a
MacBook Pro?
Oh, MacBook Pro. Okay, so check to see what the RAM is. If the RAM is a MacBook Pro should
it's at least 36, I think, on a MacBook Pro.
He's got plenty of RAM. The interesting thing is, I mean, we don't know exactly why it's doing it, but it seems pretty consistent. And it does it, with a certain amount of time. But again, I'm not here to troubleshoot, Ecamm on his system. My whole point was
one thing to check on that, because I do editing in DaVinci Resolve on my MacBook M3 Pro. At first, it didn't have hardware acceleration turned on by default. So if there's a hardware acceleration for rendering in the Ecamm, that might be a simple thing to check, because it's going to default to software unless you tell it take the horsepower of the hardware.
I don't know if there's an
like
option.
an easy checkbox.
I don't think there
that
is.
made a massive difference for me when I switched Macs, and on DaVinci, it went from crawling along to no lag at all, just from that one checkbox.
I know in OBS you can change it, but not in Ecamm. I don't think there's a setting for it.
OBS hasn't been a perfect solution for him either. I mean, there's a learning curve there. So
Calvin. Sorry, finish your thought, and then Kelvin, you're coming in only one channel, but finish your thought, Philip, and then I'll come back. And
that's it. I mean, the bottom line is there isn't a perfect solution, and it's so complex.
And then could it be the internet speed? I'm not sure. If it is not the hardware, if they're only doing if he does only recording and not broadcasting or sending out streaming signal,
it's live stream.
So it's live. So if you're only doing recording, have you tried just doing recording and not doing live streaming? And does it have that same issue?
I don't think so.
So then it might be the internet speed. So maybe the upload speed might not be as fast as the software requires. And also
I
when
would
you
have him check what his stream output is, his stream size.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah.
So that's one
4K?
culprit that I know. Yeah, if it's set to 4K, tell him to take it down to either 1440 or 1080.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
It's 10.
Yeah.
All right.
But
Okay.
again, I appreciate they're all good advice. So I'll mention it to him.
Sure. Sure.
I didn't mean to hijack the.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
We have 3 more minutes
Ecamm
before
month.
we go into. Yeah, no, this October, Ecamm October, and so we're gonna hop over. You have a few minutes, 2 minutes to, if you want to follow our next show coming up, which is Soundcheck. We're gonna talk a little bit broader about Ecamm, more than just RØDECaster Pro usage with Ecamm. So you come find us there. And if you also, of course, if you want to subscribe, you get notified when the next show comes on. Kelvin, you are coming through only on the left channel, it seems. Yes, I'm still hearing it.
So,
Oh yeah.
I didn't touch my setup from last week, but this week I'm actually trying my Streamer X out of the box. It's just sitting there. So one channel is totally possible.
Streamers or the streamer. Oh, you can probably change your Streamer X.
It's crazy. I'm also using the Streamer X.
Oh, wait.
I don't know if I'm coming.
Knees
That
here.
knee?
Yes.
I might come in.
Yay.
I might come in just on the left side, or
No.
just like Kevin.
No. I wonder if you have like your pen
Yeah.
turned on your Streamer X settings. You might have your audio pan all the way to the left. But in order to find out, you gotta go to Soundcheck to find out what the issue is, because we're wrapping up the show. We'll continue the conversation more on Ecamm over on Soundcheck, and we're gonna end the stream now for RØDECaster User Meet Up. We hope you'll come back. We have 2 more weeks before we call the 2025 season the end, until we'll be coming back on January 6th, 2026. All right, we'll see you later on. I see Louis also said hello in there. Hi, Louis. We're gonna see you now on Soundcheck. We'll see you in a bit. Bye.